the resurrection today. Resurrection of the spirit. Okay, 2, 3. The providence of resurrection for spirits. So this is a part of the resurrection. And we talked about the resurrection of the people on the earth and some kind of spiritual phenomena in the last days, last time. Right, so now we're going to go to the resurrection of the spirit. Okay, this is a divine principle. According to the principle of creation, the growth of the human spirit requires two kinds of nourishment: life element received from God and the vitality elements received through give and take action with the physical self. So we already know that, right? So we need a vitality element and thus a life element, both. So spirit can neither grow nor be resurrected apart from a physical self. So this is a very important principle here. You know, when we need to think about how the spirit can be resurrected or how spirit can grow, right? So we need to really remember this principle. Spirit can neither grow nor be resurrected apart from a physical self. That means they still need the physical self in order for them to grow, right? Even they are only spirit. So consequently, the spirit of people who died before they could reach perfection during their life, earthly life, can be resurrected only by returning to earth, right? This one, only by returning to earth and completing their unaccomplished responsibility through cooperation with earthly people. So that only through their cooperating with earthly people, you know, that means like they are doing something together with the earthly people, then they can grow and be resurrected. Right? That's what the principle said. By assisting people of faith living on the earth to fulfill their missions, the Spirit may complete their mission at the same time. Herein lies the meaning behind the verse, which foretold that in the last days the Lord will come with his holy myriad. We call this process returning resurrection. So because they return to the earth and cooperate with the earthly people, then they can be resurrected, right? So that's why we call this phenomena or call this process returning resurrection. Okay, like this. So, you know, that's of course they are not both. There are people on earth and the people in the spirit world. They are not perfect yet, right? The people in the spirit world, they are still on the process to grow, and you know how they can be resurrected, or how can they grow in the spirit, in the spiritual world. Then in order to do that, they have to come back or return to the earth and be with the earthly person who has this physical self. You know, they are living on the earth, and they are growing on the earth by the receiving life element, and you know, by receiving the vitality element, then their spirit selves are growing, right? So when the spirit in the spirit world, they come down, they return to the earth, then they cooperate with this earthly man. Then when they do together, when do things together, then when this earthly person can grow, then this spirit can grow too. So, you know, how that happen? That is because the spirit who are cooperating or who are with the earthly person, right? So they are together. That's why when the earthly person is doing something good and receiving the vitality element, right? So that means like they feel joy and they are receiving the spiritual nourishment, and the earthly people's spirit self are growing, right? At that time, the spirit behind them, or a spirit is spirit who is the helping or working together with those earthly people, they are experiencing same thing. You know, when the earthly people are loving people, then the spirit with them are doing same thing, loving people or serving people, right? So then when the earthly people are feeling joy by doing good thing, right? That which is the vitality element, basically. You know, when you do something good, then you feel good. Then you are receiving some kind of spiritual nourishment. So then when they are feeling something like that, then people or spirit who are behind them are experiencing same thing, because they are experiencing same thing through the earthly people's physical body. You know, that's why like they can receive same kind of spiritual benefit by basically vitality element. When earthly people are feeling joy or happiness or some kind of feeling of accomplishment, you know, so then the people spirit with us, behind us, they can feel the same kind of joy. That means that they are feeling or they are receiving the vitality element from the earthly people. So that's how the people in the spirit world can grow. All right, that's very that's a principle, you know. So then this is how the historically major resurrection is going to happen, or that already happened at the Jesus time, and it is happening at the time of the Lord of Second Coming. You know, that because the people in the Old Testament, people who went to the spirit world in during the Old Testament age, so even if they did good, then their spiritual level were in the formation stage, right? This the Old Testament age, you know, formation stage. Then it says the people in the formation stage spirit or formation stage spirit world, right? That is the spirit world of the Old Testament age, right? They can be resurrected to the next stage only together with earthly people, you know, but only together with earthly people who are with Jesus, you know. Then you know, otherwise they can't go up. So those who are with Jesus, they can enter into the spirit world of the New Testament age, which is a growth stage spiritual world, right? So they can go with Jesus. I mean, Jesus' disciple and the very nice, great, the sincere Christians who were with Jesus, right? Or who are with Jesus in spirit, then they can grow and they can reach to the growth stage spiritual world. Yeah. So, but the people before Jesus, you know, who lived in the Old Testament age, they, even though they did their best, but their limitation is, you know, just to become the formation stage spirit. Then they are in the formation stage spiritual world. Then how can they grow more and enter into their growth stage spiritual world, right? So that can be happening. That could happen when they are with the Jesus disciples or Christians, and you know, who are living on the earth. Then when they do together, when they do things together, and especially this time when they believe that, you know, earthly people believe in God, Jesus, and receiving God's love and the practice God's love, right? Centering on the word, you know, the believe and the keep the faith. So that's how the people on the earth or the Jesus disciples and the Christians could enter into their paradise, second stage or growth stage of their spirit world. So if the spirit people in the spiritual world are with them and do the same kind of life of faith, experiencing the same kind of life of faith, then those earthly people, when they are growing, then those spirit can grow too. So that's how they can enter into the paradise. Right? So that's a principle. Then the same thing to the this time, when the time of the Lord of Second Coming came, then the people in the spirit world, in a Christian spirit or paradise, they can also be resurrected and enter into their completion stage spiritual world, right? So together with the people of the Lord of Second Coming, together with the disciples of the second coming of the Messiah. So when they grow and when they enter into the completed testament age and that kind of spirit, then the people who are in the paradise also can be resurrected together with the people on the earth. So that's how they're everybody basically, when we talk about everybody. So I mean, this time, so we're right here, we are talking about people who are in the paradise, people who are in the Old Testament age, spiritual world, right? How they can be resurrected. That this is how, then that means like they can be resurrected, even though they are living the long time ago and they could not really achieve their perfection, but together with us, then they can also grow, right? That is the returning resurrection. And I think that is a very important thing and very hopeful. And, that's actually like nobody knew, but we know that that is happening. Okay, so then another important thing, then maybe this is a very, very important too, that how the evil spirit can be resurrected. Evil spirit, you may know, you have an evil spirit behind you, or there are evil spirit, right? So then how can they be resurrected? How can they become a good spirit? Not only become a good spirit, and that they can be resurrected and, reach the our goal as the true human being, right? So this is that principle. Okay, so we're gonna read the divine principle. Let us examine the returning resurrection of evil spirit. In the Bible, we read about the cursed who are liable to the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. His angels here refers to evil spirits who live and work under the control of the devil, Satan. Right? The spiritual creatures commonly known as ghosts, whose features and identity are often unclear, are, those ghosts, like a ghost, are none other than evil spirit. Of course, evil spirit, when we say evil spirit, that's not only the ghost. Ghost, we say ghost, like hanging around on the earth or, something like that. They are all evil spirit. But the evil spirit could be anywhere. They don't have to be a ghost. That's lots of evil spirit in the spiritual world. The people in the hell in the spiritual world. So they are all evil spirit, right? So we are talking about those evil spirit. How can they be resurrected? Okay, so divine principle said, even evil spirit are able to receive the merit of the age. Even they can receive the merit of the age by returning to the earth. the returning resurrection, same kind of principle can be applied to the evil spirit. However, the works of evil spirits do not always bear fruit, right? Works of evil spirit means evil work. They cannot do the good thing, evil spirit. That's why we call them evil spirit. They cannot do good thing, basically. That's why they are evil spirit, right? So that those works of evil spirit do not always bear fruit and result in their receiving the benefit of returning resurrection. So that's not automatic thing, right? To receive such a benefit, right? DP said their works must have the effect of punishing earthly people. The evil work, the works of the evil spirit. That means like they are giving the evil things to the people on the earth. Then after time, that kind of work must have the effect of punishing earthly people. If that kind of evil work become a punishment, right? That means indemnity condition, punishment or indemnity condition, then that this can work. Then the evil spirit may receive the benefit. Okay, so thereby enlisting their help in making indemnity conditions in accordance with God's plan to cleanse evil spirits through punishment. Yeah, punishment means indemnity condition. Through the punishment or through the indemnity condition, then earthly person can be cleansed. Their sins can be cleansed. Their spirit self can be cleansed, all right? That's a punishment. That is an indemnity condition. If that kind of things happen, then the evil spirit who gave that kind of punishment can receive or could receive their benefit. So that's a principle saying. How then can the works of evil spirit result in casting judgment on behalf of heaven? Okay, so then the divine principle gave some example. Not so easy example, but let's read. Yeah, let us take an example. Suppose there is a person living on earth who, based on the merit of the age, is about to graduate from his current sphere of benefit to a higher sphere of benefit, right? So that's happening with us. Like when we are growing, then we are part of the restoration. Then like that's my own restoration or resurrection is happening also. But actually, I am taking the responsibility for my own family, maybe for my own tribe or something like that. That's a providence is moving up from the individual level, family, tribe, race, or something like that. So we are moving up. When we are moving up like that, right? So then DP said he cannot graduate to the new sphere of benefit unless he first makes some condition of indemnity to remove the sins of the past. If we have some kind of sins which is not cleansed or which is not indemnified yet, we have such a sins from the past, we have to take care of it. Otherwise we cannot really move on, right? That's what the divine principle is saying. In the case of graduating from the family sphere to the clan sphere, a person must pay the debt of sin. In order to move on, the person must pay the debt of sin, both for himself and for the ancestors of his clan. Heaven allows evil spirit to torment him as punishment for this sin. So, heaven, right, God, heaven allows evil spirit to do that. Heaven allows evil spirit to give you a hard time as a punishment for your sin, for his sin. That's what the DP is saying. So that that means like even the evil spirit, even they have no idea about God and heaven, they what they can do is only only they can do is the evil things. Still, God or heaven can utilize it, right? This is a pretty amazing thing. Okay, so if he, the earthly person, willingly endures the suffering given by the evil spirit and overcomes it, he will have successfully paid the indemnity through this condition, and thus be entitled to enter the higher sphere of benefit at the crown level. So right, that is the basic law of indemnity condition. You have to be able to appreciate it, or you have to be able to be grateful. You endure, be grateful, right, about the suffering. When you are going through the difficult course, when you are suffering, that's a, work of evil spirit is many things, like you just, you get spiritually attacked or physically attacked, you get sick, or somebody, they work through somebody else, then you may receive the persecution, or you may receive the, the hard time from other people. All of those kinds of things could be the result of the works of evil spirit. So, but when you are having that kind of suffering, then you endure it, and then you overcome it. You overcomes the suffering means you can endure, and you can appreciate it, and you can be grateful, even though you are in the suffering course. So when you do that, then that suffering becomes the indemnity condition, right? That makes sense. If you do not endure, or if you cannot be appreciated, you cannot be grateful when you are suffering, then you cannot be grateful means what? You could be resentful about it. You could complain every day about your suffering. You're not satisfied, of course, and complaining about it, complaining to some people, complaining to God, and then you just are living the unhappy life because of the suffering, right? If you become like that, then you you become a complaining person or resentful person, right? So that means that you are not really you are not really paying indemnity for your own sins. That's like when you make a mistake in this world, and you are put in the jail probably as an indemnity condition. Then the purpose of that means you suffer in the prison, then you grateful, you appreciate it, then you change your mind, then you become a good person, right? So that is the purpose of paying indemnity. So paying indemnity. So when you are paying indemnity, you have to become a better person. You are supposed to become better person after paying indemnity condition, But if you are not grateful, if you are not able to appreciate it, then if you are always complaining, right, then you are not growing, right? You're not growing, so you are not getting a better person. So that means like you are not paying indemnity. You're saying, or maybe you are getting worse. You will have a chance to pay indemnity, but if you are just complaining, then you are just, maybe getting the worse. And you are like becoming the worse. So that could happen. Yeah. So, if you overcomes it, then that becomes an indemnity condition. That's a very important thing, right? If you cannot overcome it, then if you complain and resentful, even no matter what kind of no matter what kind of suffering you may have, that may not become the indemnity condition for you, right? So that's a very important principle there, right? And thus okay. Then the evil spirit who have tormented him receive a corresponding benefit. If you are enduring, and then if that suffering turned into the indemnity condition, that means like you are able to grow, through the indemnity condition, then in that case, the evil spirit who have tormented him receive a corresponding benefit. Okay, so this is a very simple explanation. Maybe maybe I need to explain more detail later on, or maybe next time, right? But that's how the principle works, right? So evil spirit give their evil work to the earthly person. If the evil work became the indemnity condition for that earthly person, then because of that suffering, which was given by the evil spirit, becomes their indemnity condition, and because of that, then the earthly person could grow or resurrected, right? Then only in that case, the evil spirit can receive the merit from that work. Yeah. So, how that works, that we need more detailed explanation, but that is a simple explanation. If the evil works did not become the indemnity condition, then earthly people could not gain the benefit from the suffering. That means that he just complained and resentful, then the evil spirit did not gain anything either. The evil, because of the evil spirit and the works of evil spirit, then the earthly people get more resentful, more complaining person. That means that person himself become an evil spirit, right? So if the earthly person cannot really overcome the suffering, then basically evil spirit can multiply the another evil spirit. So, okay, so that's, that's very the how you receive the suffering, then completely different the result comes. Okay, this is a way that based on the merit of the age, the providence of restoration expands its sphere of benefit from the family level to the clan level, the national level, and the world level. So, when you are growing up and doing better things and more bigger things, then always the process is the same. You may need to go through this kind of process. Whenever humanity is to graduate to a higher level, the person leading the providence must make a condition of indemnity to resolve the sins which he or his forefathers have committed. Okay, the works of evil spirit may help an earthly person fulfill indemnity conditions to purge his sin in two different ways. Little bit in detail now. There was two ways, right? First, the spirit may trouble the earthly person directly, right? That means, the evil spirit comes to you directly and give you the hard time. So that could be the mental difficulties, spiritual disturbance, or physically becoming sick, and you are having a hard time, because of some disease or sickness, right? So that's the first one. Second, the evil spirit may descend to the spirit self of another person living on earth who is about to commit a sin comparable to the sin of the person to be punished, and work through the second person to attack him, right? That means an evil spirit may use somebody else to attack you, So that's that's indirectly, or using another person, then they give you a hard time, right? That's a second case. Persecution is like that, or you may receive the attack from somebody else, something like that. If in either case, if the earthly person gratefully and willingly suffers the work of the evil spirit, he will make the indemnity condition, right? In either case, a person gratefully and willingly suffers the works of the evil spirit. Then this works that he will make the indemnity condition to purge his and his ancestors' sin, right? Thus, this is a principle. The sin will then be resolved, and he will either enter the higher sphere of benefit, which has become available in the new era. Thus, the works of the evil spirit will have cast judgment on the person for his sin on behalf of heaven. So that means when we can do that, right? When the earthly person who is receiving the suffering, if he can be grateful and overcome it, then so he can grow or he can be resurrected. Then at the same time, evil spirit, right? So he can gain the benefit because the evil spirit is somehow, right, contributing the providence, contributing the God's providence to restore people or to bring people be resurrected. Yeah. So that's how the even evil spirit can contribute their God's providence, but that depends on their earthly people. If earthly people can endure it or not, if the earthly person can be grateful or not, if the earthly person can be, can pay the indemnity condition through it or not, right? That's all depends on the earthly person. Yeah, not depends on the evil spirit. Only thing that evil spirit can do is giving a hard time, If that becomes an indemnity condition or just, the bad things for the earthly person, that depends on the earthly person. How the person who is on the earth can take it, how he can take it, is the basically important thing. Yeah, that's why like when we live the principle, just be grateful all the time. If only you can do that kind of life, grateful life, always appreciating the life. So then that is helping him, paying lots of indemnity and helping the evil spirit can be resurrected too. Okay, consequently, the spirit will receive the same benefit as the earthly person. Okay, so that's a conclusion. He too will enter the higher sphere of benefit, right? So, that's one important thing is how we take it, right? That's important thing. So then I think that's enough, divine principle is explaining that very good, okay? But the more detailed dynamics, how the evil spirit can be resurrected is, little bit, we need a more explanation about it. Because evil spirit themselves are human, evil spirits are human beings. They can't just turn into their good spirit without realizing something, right? So anyway, so I can talk about it the next time, but that is, I think, very important too. Then that becomes like a real life for us. That's pretty real, that dealing with the evil spirit and how we can deal with the evil spirit is the basically the real thing. So we need to learn about that little bit more in detail. Okay, so that will be the next time, next week's topic.